Hello, dear friends. Those who reject the ascension will catch it in another round. Some will be fed in the morning, some at the noon, and some at night. But all will be fed when destiny catches up with them, for there is no running away from God. Opinion piece. The hero's journey. A path of trials. 7 archetypes of awakening. The seeker begins his adventure. Model of a spiritual evolution. Only the hero finds the truth. Let's start. No one has the vocation of a martyr or a hero, but the game of life brings challenges and trials that force you to fight and risk. Spanish culture is idealistic, romantic, passionate, and adventurous, like Don Quixote, and that is why Hispanic art has so many representations of saints, martyrs, and heroes. But Dutch art, for example, represents merchants, more practical but more boring. There are thousands of archetypes we use to evolve spiritually, but there are 7 that are so common that it is good to understand them. The hero, the guardian, the shadow, the ally, the cynical shapeshifter, the trickster, and the seeker. The seeker is so motivated by answers that he will even put himself in danger and act spontaneously or instinctively just so he can seek more. The hero will find multiple adventures and obstacles to face. The danger is to test oneself, and through the trials the hero recognizes his true or her true spiritual nature. The seeker is very valuable, but only the hero finds the ultimate truth. The hero is everywhere. He appears in every ancient myth, in popular culture, in ancient culture, and in epic history. Buddha is a hero. Once he receives the call to adventure, he leaves his home to continue his journey, in which he discovers humankind's suffering and a path that leads to liberation from suffering. Spiritual seeker. A spiritual seeker is a person who has a deep desire to find a deeper meaning of life, truth, and connection to something greater than themselves. A spiritual seeker may sense that there is something beyond that can be seen and touched in the physical world, and feels compelled to explore the deeper dimensions of existence. Spiritual seeker may have different beliefs and practices, including meditation, prayer, yoga, reading sacred texts, exploring different spiritual traditions, connecting with nature, and seeking wisdom and knowledge through personal experience. For a seeker, spirituality is not only an external practice, but also an inner path of personal transformation and development. A spiritual seeker may be in constant search for answers and meaning in life, and may be willing to make significant changes in their life to follow their path, or his path, or her path. In short, a spiritual seeker is a person who seeks a deeper connection with the world and themselves, and strives to find a sense of purpose and meaning in life. A deeper connection with the world and himself. Challenge. A hero or heroine is a person who performs a highly self-sacrificing deed for a noble cause. In ancient mythology, he or she was a human being born of a god or goddess and a human, and was therefore considered more than a man and less than a god like Achilles, Aeneas, etc. He is an eminent character who embodies the quintessence of values in his culture of origin. He possesses idolized skills and personality traits that enable him to perform extraordinary and beneficial feats to save people from danger. The hero's journey is a narrative pattern found in many ancient and modern stories and myths. It was identified by the writer and mythologist Joseph Campbell in his book The Hero with a Thousand Faces. The hero's journey describes the narrative arc that follows a character who faces a challenge or call to adventure, enters an unknown world, overcomes trials and obstacles, transforms himself and returns to his home or community with a new knowledge or skill that he can use to help others. The hero's journey generally follows a three-part structure: the departure, the initiation, and the return. In the departure, the hero encounters a call to adventure and leaves home to face an unknown world. In the initiation, the hero faces trials and obstacles and transforms and gains a new knowledge or skill. At the end, the hero returns home to share what he has learned to help others. In the last stage of the hero's journey, the protagonist can live freely. In other words, the hero has completed his task, escaped danger, evaded death, evolved into a better person, and gained the freedom to live comfortably and peacefully. The hero's journey has been used as a model for many popular stories, including Homer's The Odyssey, George Lucas' Star Wars, and Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. It has also been used as a model for storytelling and personal growth. Traits of the hero: he must be courageous, honest, think of others, have values, be self-confident, and pursue his goals regardless of obstacles. Conflict with the outside world: the hero puts himself on the same level as ordinary people who are afflicted by similar problems. Courage to face life: the hero is always courageous enough to face the problems of life and his own destiny. Utopian ideology: the hero is guided by universal values, which refer to the cycle of life, the beginning, the end of the renewal of life. If he is not afraid of death, it is because he does not focus on the death of the individual, but on the immortality of the human being. Separation from the world: the hero constantly undergoes a change of place through no fault of his own. For example, he has been displaced from his original place, it is to say. This makes the way to return home at all costs, where his family and friends await him. Return to improve the world: if after the battle the hero returns home, he doubts the established values, the social order, and may change or break those rules to improve society. Stages: Campbell summarizes 3 stages in The Hero with a Thousand Faces. The hero sets out on adventure from his everyday world to regions of supernatural wonder. The hero encounters fabulous forces and ends up winning a decisive victory. The hero returns from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow favors on his fellow man. Call to adventure: the hero starts from a mundane situation of normality when suddenly information comes to him that acts in his mind as a call to the unknown. Supernatural help: once the hero has committed himself to the quest, consciously or unconsciously, a magical guide or helper appears or is revealed to him among familiar people. Often this supernatural guardian will present the hero with one or more talismans or artifacts that will further aid him in the quest. Crossing the first threshold: this is the point at which the person enters the realm of adventure, leaving behind the known boundaries of his or her world, and venturing into unknown and dangerous terrain where no rules or limitations are known. The belly of the whale represents the hero's final separation from the known self and the known world, and the willingness to undergo a metamorphosis. Initiation: this is about the trials, exploits, or difficult tasks that the person must undergo as he or she begins the transformation. Encounter with the goddess: this is the moment when the person experiences an unconditional love that has the power and importance of the all-powerful, the all-embracing. Temptation: In this step, the hero faces temptations, often of a physical or pleasurable nature, which may lead him or her to abandon or turn away from his or her mission. Apotheosis. When someone dies in self to live in spirit, he or she moves beyond the pairs of opposites, moving into a state of divine knowledge, love, compassion, and bliss. Blessing is the achievement of the goal of the mission. It is what a person strove to achieve. The gift is something transcendent, like the elixir of life or the Holy Grail. Refusal to return. Having found happiness and enlightenment in another world, the hero refuses to return to the ordinary world to bestow the acquired gift on his fellow man. Magical flight. The return can be as adventurous and dangerous as the journey was. Rescue from the outside. Just as the hero may need guides and helpers to embark on the quest, often he must have rescuers to lead him back to everyday life. Crossing the threshold of return. The meaning of return is the preservation of the wisdom gained in the quest, the incorporation of that wisdom into humankind life, and then finding a new way to share it with the rest of the world. Master of two worlds. This step is usually represented by a transcendental hero such as Jesus or Gautama Buddha. It signifies the achievement of a balance between the material and the spiritual, the inner and the outer. Freedom to live. Mastery leads to freedom from the fear of death, in which in turn is freedom to live. It is living in the moment without anticipating the future or regretting the past. That's the story. Economy. Everything is coming to a head in the financial world according to Juan Osabi. ChatGPT chooses gold over Bitcoin, says Peter Schiff. Texas lawmakers propose a digital currency backed by gold. Cryptocurrency continues to rally. Banks are on the hunt for customers who ask for cheaper mortgages. Storm clouds await, the economy says JP Morgan Chase chief. The banking crisis increases the likelihood of a recession, says Jamie Dimon. The dollar is expected to fall further. The slump still has a long way to go, according to Bloomberg. More and more states are looking for alternatives to the dollar as a reserve currency, according to the Washington Times. Countries such as China, Russia, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Argentina, and South Africa are looking for ways to dethrone the dollar as the main reserve currency. China's green jump is a nightmare for Saudi Arabia and Russia. China's sales of petrol and diesel cars fell 20% in February from a year earlier. New car prices are shocking. Johnson & Johnson to pay $9 billion for selling talc containing asbestos. Europe. France's yellow waistcoats opposed arms supplies to Kiev. X22 report. The People presses against Macron because he uses the people's money to bail out the bankers. People do not agree with the central bank digital currency and will eventually reject it. States are ready to link the currency to gold. 37 of the Spanish military abroad in defense of NATO's border with Russia. In addition to the 1,150 soldiers on mission in Eastern Europe, there are another 1,900 troops in a dozen operations around the world. Firefighters work to extinguish a new fire in Fonte da Cova, León. 46,235 hectares have already been burnt in Spain so far this year. The cave known as Cova de la Vila was rediscovered in the village of Febró in Bikes Camp, Tarragona, during a topographical expedition by a group of speleologists. Americas. Expectation of a possible eruption of the Nevado del Ruiz volcano in Colombia. Hundreds of artists create biblical-themed sand sculptures in Bolivia. U.S. court suspends extradition of former Peruvian President Toledo for 14 days. Argentina Foreign Minister Santiago Cafiero calls for a peaceful solution with the UK over the Falklands. An Argentine streamer travelled to the Falklands and experienced British hostility. A streamer is a person who broadcasts live content over the internet using any streaming platform for video, audio, photos, video games, etc. Russia interested in starting a water transport corridor with Venezuela. The International Court of Justice in The Hague ruled on Thursday against Venezuela in a territorial dispute with Guyana. Both countries will go to trial. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.